Hello, thank you for joining me for a new and exciting tutorial on the last layer of the Megaminx. Last video, which I believe was part 4, we finished up doing all around here and the edge corners here. So now we're going to do the last layer. We're going to do OLL, which is orienting the last layer. So what you do is you first find a piece that it doesn't matter what color it is. You could put, well, we got orange here. We only got one, but if you have green, like it's green here and gray on top, or whatever color, it doesn't matter as long as you get one that matches. So what you do is put it to the left, the one that matches, and we're going to start on this face here. We do this move. Front, right, up, right invert, up invert, and front invert. So now we have 3 in place, and our goal is to get all 5 on top in place, all the gray pieces to make the gray star. So once you have these 3, you turn the puzzle this way, so this one that's not matching is in front. We do the same move, but we're going to do one less move. Front, right, up, right invert, up invert. Just leave this here, don't turn this. Do that same move again. Right, up, right invert, up invert. Now we bring it back, front invert. And what that did was, because we had these 3 in place, we did that move 2 times, and what it did was put this piece in place and this piece in place on top. You do it twice. So next we'll find one. Let's see here, because I want to do an example solve here. Let's see here. Okay, so we line up one piece here. We're going to do the soon move, and what will happen is after we do it maybe once or twice, it's going to line up all the edge corner or the edges here all the way around. So we start with this move, right, up, right invert, up, right, up invert 2, right invert. Okay, so well, we got 2 in place right here. So what we do is when you have 2 next to each other that line up like this, you turn it to this side, you put the one we did in front to the left. Now we have the 2 matching, and then we do the move again. Right, up, right invert, up, right, up invert 2, right invert. And what happened is all the pieces went into place. Sometimes, let's say, you're doing that move. Sometimes you might have to do it 2 times to get all the pieces in place. You might do it. You do it one time and there's nothing in place, and then you do it a second time, and then all of them will be in place. I'll give you another example of, let's see here. Another example of putting the pieces in place is we'll do this move, the T-perm, and I'll show you another example. Okay, so let's see if we got 2. So okay, so what we do is here, let's see, we got 1 here in place, and we got 1 here in place. So if you have 2 in place like this, you put the other one that matches on the back side here. You put this one in front of you. Okay. So this one's here, the other one's back here. And we do the T-perm move, which is right, up, right invert, up invert, right invert, front, R2, up invert, right invert, up invert, right, up, right invert, front invert. And all the pieces are in. All the edge pieces are in. Sometimes also, so you know, when you do that move, the T-perm where you have one here and one here, sometimes you might have to do it 2 times to get all the edges in place. So you might have to do that same move twice. So now we got all the edges in. The next thing we do is look for a corner piece that matches, and I think this one does, pink, yellow, and gray. Actually, we have 2 right here. So this is pretty uncommon. It's not usually happens. Usually you'll have one piece in place here, or sometimes you won't have any pieces in place. So since we have 2 in place, we put in front of us like this, and we will do this move so we can put the other pieces in place. Up, right, up invert 2, front, or I'm sorry, left invert, up 2, right invert, up invert 2, right invert. Then we bring it back so it matches up, and let's take a look. We got our 2 pieces in place, and everything else is matching. Sometimes, like I said before, if let's say you have 2 pieces in place and we just did that move, sometimes you might have to do it also 2 times to line up all the edges. And same if you only have 1 piece here, you might have to do it one or 2 or even 3 times to get all these in place. But always remember, you keep this in front of you. If you have one that matches, leave it right here in front of you, and then you do the move either once, twice, or 3 times. That's the beginner's method. Okay, so next move, we do the algorithm to flip these edges to put them on top, and this is the final move to solve the Megaminx last layer. Ready? Here we go. Right invert, down, right, down invert, right invert, down, right, down invert. And then we bring this piece around here. Same thing. Right invert, down, right, down invert, right invert, down, right, down invert. Next piece. Right invert, down, right, down invert, right invert, down, right, and down invert. Next. See, this one's facing us. It's not over here, but we're going to do the beginner's method so you don't get confused. Right invert, down, right, down invert, right invert, down, right, down invert. One more time. Right invert, down, matches, right, then down invert. Next one. It's on this side, so we do it again. Right invert, down, right, down invert. One more time. Right invert, down, right, and down invert. So an important thing to remember is when we're doing the right invert, down, right, and then down invert, make sure that if you do a piece and then you rotate the next piece, make sure you do the down invert every time. Because if you don't, you're going to mess up this layer and then you'll have to go back and redo it. So make sure that you always do the down invert on every move when you're putting the piece on top. That's really important, to down invert the last move. So thank you for joining me on this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video and tutorial, like and subscribe. Have a great day.